Hello, and welcome back into Wenzel's world. And of course, I'm out here at the creek again. In case somebody's wondering, the reason the acoustics are the way it is under here is the way that it is because I'm under the bridge. There's used to be a railroad out here, and this was the railroad bridge. And of course, they needed a bridge here because the creek ran through here, which still does, into the river that you can see back out in there. That's where the river is. So, and welcome back in here to Winchell's World. Well, I'm got my aromatic pipe out. I've designated this pipe as my aromatic pipe, and it is a Molina made in Italy, a number 106. And this particular pipe here was I won in Papa Bear's gall. And hello, Papa Bear. And something else that I won from Papa Bear's gall is this. He sent me this tobacco right here also, which I guess you can see what it is. It's called Trout Stream. And it is a black Cavendish, and then it says comma, Cavendish, caramel, other miscellaneous. That's what's printed on here. So anyway, I don't know where it came from or who mixed it up, but anyway, for an aromatic, well, it's pretty good. And when you open up the bag, the smell of it, I mean, I don't think I've ever smelt of an aromatic that I didn't like the aroma of it. To say I like all aromatics I've ever used, nope. But anyway, I don't use this one very much, and I thought, well, it's been a while, and so I think I'll get this one out. Get it fired up again where I don't have to use the lighter. The lighter acted like it might have been a little old fluid. So anyway, we'll try to keep it lit. So how you doing? Well, I feel like I need to say this, but I won't go into too much detail about it because that ain't what I'm here to do exactly. But in case anybody's wondering about the shooting at the church in Lexington yesterday, which have been, Sunday morning. I don't know when you'll be watching this. You may be watching this a month from now, but anyway, unfortunately they were friends of ours. We did know the people. Matter of fact, I was there at a ordination service. I'm going from I can't remember when it was exactly, other than it was a nice, dry, sunny day, and I think it would have been sometime late last fall. And so, of course, I was part of the ordination council, and we eat dinner with them after the service and everything, fellowshipped with them. So it hadn't been that long ago that we were there for a service one Saturday for the ordination. So anyway, and it was the preacher got shot, the pastor of the church, and way I gather, as far as I know, he's is still with us. Unfortunately, his wife died in the shooting, and another lady died in the church. I can't remember. Anyway, and then there was a couple of others, I think, or at least one more that was shot, and of course the shooter was put down. The police put him down. I did call and ask about it, and so I'm not going into no big detail. But in case you're wondering, the shooter did know the people. He had had some history with some of the people, and he wasn't a believer by no means. So it wasn't one church member shooting another church member at all. But he had some altercations with somebody about something that he knew there. So anyway, why it all turned out like it did, I'm not real sure. So anyway, if you know how to get a hold of the Lord, I just mean you know how to pray. Why, pray for the people, the victims, that they'll recover, and for those that had to make funeral arrangements and the cleanup and everything. So anyway, well, it's been a nice morning here. The clouds finally, of course, we got clouds all over. So we got means we got some fluffy clouds, and then they cover up the sun a while, and then it comes out. So it's a typical summer day. So anyway, we'll let it go out. And this tamper that I got right here, as far as I know, that's 100% copper, but you know. And this was gifted to me in a yabo by the Mustard Seed Piper. And so, along with the Papa Bear channel, if you don't know these channels and you're interested in looking at some other presenters here over the YTPC, then as the one I made mention was Papa Bear. That's the name of his channel. And then the one who gifted me with this tamper right here, his channel is called the Mustard Seed Piper. And again, if you're interested in looking at some different channels that you don't know much about or don't know anything about, I guess I should say, then you can check out those channels and listen to what they have to say. I'm trying to taste it to see if I can tell you if I taste caramel or not. No, I don't taste caramel. Not real strong. If you're going to compare it to a piece of caramel candy or something like that, it don't taste like that. I guess it's in the background, which is probably a good thing. Right there, right there is something I've had before, and I guess it's that Cavendish tobacco. Now that's tasted familiar. You know, I was thinking about something the other day, might be interesting to you. In the month of July, 43 years ago, was the first time I stood in front of a congregation to open up the Holy Scriptures and to preach. The Lord saved me 43 years ago in January. In the spring of that year, while I was painting houses, of course, you know, there's some quietness with that. And whenever I painted, I was also able to think about other things, no matter if I was using the roller or if I was using the paintbrush, which is either one or the other. We didn't do any spray painting. You know, why, you got time to think. And I guess during that time, you know, being newly saved and just thinking about the Lord and His good salvation and the church where I was a member at, and what was going on in my life with my newfound faith in the Lord and all. Of course, being, you know, tender-hearted to the Lord and wanting to be obedient to Him and wanting to live right and please Him and fellowship it with the Lord. I can look back on it and tell you now, although I really couldn't have told you then, but I look back on it now and I can see that the Lord was calling me into the ministry. And you might think, well, what that's like? Well, it's sort of like it was when He saved me. I mean, He called me to Himself to receive Him, to be saved. And the call to preach was about the same thing, although it wasn't so dramatic and it wasn't such an experience that I had whenever I was quickened. That's the Bible word. Born again. That's two words in the Bible. And or the word regenerated, which all of those mean the same thing. They speak about life, spiritual life that the Lord produces. So it wasn't as dramatic as it was when He called me to Himself to save me, but I couldn't get away from it. I thought about it. I couldn't think that He would be calling me into the ministry. I mean, I hadn't been saved long, and the life I'd been living in and out of jail and living like the devil. Anyway, and I asked my Sunday school teacher, how you know if the Lord's calling you to preach? And I don't remember now what he said, but he tried to help me to understand. And then there was a preacher that I knew, and close to the little town where I lived. He lived close to the little town, had a little mission work there. That's another name for a young church, mission work. Anyway, I called him on the phone to see what he'd do because I was wanting to talk to him. See if he could tell me how I could know if it was really God called me to preach or if it was just me thinking that that's what He wanted me to do. He said, well, I'm over at the church painting. I said, well, I'll come over and help you. And so I went over there and talked to him and I asked him, how he knew the Lord was calling you to preach. I started describing to him, what it was like. He said, well, let's pray. So we just stopped right there in the middle of our painting, and he prayed, and I don't know what all he said, and while he was praying, I was praying, and I was giving up. I just surrendered to the Lord for Him to use me to preach. And the first time I preached in July, 43 years ago, was at that little mission work. And my text that I used was 1 John chapter 3, I think it's verses 15 through 17. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. For if any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. and the world passeth away, and the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of his Father abideth forever. If that's not it word for word, oh, it's pretty close. That was my text. That was the scriptures that I went over. So anyway, and it didn't take long to go over. I mean, uh, so anyway, I was a young man, 23 years old. So anyhow, and whether or not you got anything out of that or not is neither here nor there, because one of these days, if my grandchildren, or if YouTube keeps these videos up, my great grandchildren want to wonder what I did and where I did it and what time it was, they can go back over these videos and listen to these different things and be able to put some pieces together. So if I'm not around to tell them. So anyway, so to me, making these videos, it got a twofold purpose. Number one is to have something for my grandchildren and great-grandchildren, if YouTube keeps these videos up, and to give some content to you people. You know, I got to thinking about that the other day too. If YouTube keeps these videos up and all, and one of these days you and we're off the scene, I wonder what the other presenters will talk about. And I wonder if they'll say, well, you know, the YTPC is not what it used to be. And they'll be talking about us. They used to do this. They used to say that. They smoked this. They did this for each other. And I wonder if it'll say that, if that'll be said in days to come. Something to think about. Man, I hope that ain't a tick crawling on me. I hate to get the side of my shirt right in front of you people, but you know how it is if you live out in the country. If you get a tick on you, you want to get the thing off, which I don't think that's what it was. It could have been a bug. I think it could have been a spider. Oh, me. Y'all got any spiders where you live? Man. Still seeing if I can taste anything. And again, this is called Trout strain, this particular blend of tobacco. There's that taste again. I'd say that's that Cavendish. I've tasted that in other tobaccos before. Seems like it's pretty predominant though in aromatic blends. Well, I need to mow the yard. And I'd say you need to do something else. Am I right? So I guess I'll get off here and let you do something else. So anyway, enjoy your day or your evening. And do you seek the Lord? Do you know Him? Do you believe that He knows you? Think about it. Until we meet again, have a good one.